So with beginners, like I know if I came in here and you gave me a sun to paint, it's gonna look like not a sun. So how do you get clients once they in here or people that's having parties once they make mistakes? How do you get them to still be confident about what they painted and fix that mistake?
Yeah, so one of the beautiful things about acrylic paint is that it dries pretty fast. And I always say you really can't make a mistake with it because you can always go over anything. I have different techniques where you can even wipe things off the canvas. But ultimately, we're all just there to have fun. So even though quote unquote mistakes are made, I like to quote Bob Ross, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. So, but I do try to help people, and usually we can come back from any quote unquote mistake that people make during the class.
Hey, and she do have a Bob Ross outfit. I seen it.
That's true. I have the wig.
And so, like when you with a party, with a paint party, what are the essential materials that are most definitely needed for a stress-free paint party?
So I try to keep the materials and the palette as simple as possible for people. One thing, my materials have evolved over time and I've kind of fine-tuned my process to make it as easy and seamless for people as possible. One thing that's really helped is I have color-coded paint brushes for people. So I can say, grab your red-handled brush and everyone in the room knows what I'm talking about. So that leaves it stress-free for them. For me, it's stress-free whenever I am able to use the styrofoam paint palette because then I just throw them out at the end of the night and I'm not splashing paint all over myself with the reusable palette. So,
Now, not that you per se would do this, but there's a lot of people that are, at first, let me start here. I didn't even know what a paint party was until I met you. And so I was like, what is that? And so then you said it. So then I started looking at Facebook and I started seeing other people doing it. Now here we have 2026, you got 420 coming up. You have a lot of people that are doing paint parties that are cannabis based. How do you feel about that, actually being an artist? Not that that's something you would do, but how do you feel about that with that element being added to the art?
I mean, so how I first heard of the paint parties was, I believe it was a paint and sip party. So you always hear of people having the wine or I think it's usually paint and sip is what they call it. So people have been incorporating wine and drinks into the painting process for as long as I've known about the painting classes. And then you hear people also do coffee or what have you. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing a cannabis-related class. If that's how people choose to relax and enjoy, then I don't see it as being any different than, per se, having a glass of wine.
I think it's an awesome idea, actually.
Yeah.
So, advice. Any newcomer, whether if they're an artist or whatever they're choosing, if they want to be a paint party, start a paint party business, what are the elements or what would you tell them that they need to do to make that work?
Yeah. So I would say first things first would be to start before you're fully ready. And what I mean by that is don't start before you have all your materials and that sort of thing, but start before maybe you even feel fully confident or fully like, hey, I'm an art teacher, because it took me a long time to fully feel confident as a art teacher. And I felt imposter syndrome for a long time. And I think that's a very common feeling to have whenever you're jumping into something that's new and unfamiliar. But I think once you do it a few times and gain confidence, then you can really start to focus on the experience of your clients and what that looks like for them and what kind of environment that you're creating for them.
Okay, we're gonna switch this up. These are a few fun questions right here. So, music. Mm-hmm. Do you play music in the background as you're playing? So
absolutely.
what is the music of choice most of the time and why?
So that is tailored to the class. So I always like to ask whoever sets up the class with me or just the overall class in general, hey, what kind of music would you guys like to hear today? And sometimes I'll already have like a lo-fi or a jazz playing and they'll say, that's great, I love that, it's relaxing. So some people really like just the more relaxing environment, but then some people want me to play throwback hits or country or something a little bit more upbeat for their group. So I have noticed that the music does play a role in the environment of the class, whether we have kind of a more quiet class when I'm playing jazz and everyone's really focused, or maybe a more talkative, upbeat group whenever I'm playing 2000s throwbacks.